A Law, and I live a unsponsored life.
Brag about yourself. Tell me about your accolades. Tell me, who's Jalen A Law?
Freshman year of college at Buffalo State, I was the national qualifier in the 100, 200 4x1. I'm an All-American in both the 4x1 and the 200. I think about this, I did a lot. University of Buffalo, UB, I did a few things there. I can't remember offhand all the accolades that we did achieve. I know we were a record holder in the school record holder in the 4x1. But yeah, like those are the two major achievements that come to mind during my college career. Post collegiate, I've been a journeyman. I have competed. I've been had the luxury to be a part of a track club based out in Toronto, Canada, called Extreme Velocity, which is really a hybrid. It's a Canadian track club, but also a Barbadian track club because the head coach, Coach Jamal, was the national junior coach, junior national coach for the country of Barbados, because he was a athlete who represented Barbados in his career. I got an opportunity to learn under him, travel not only across the country but across the Caribbean to compete. From there, I went from there to competing and working with a European track club called, I always get the butcher the name. So, Coach Alessandro, if you see this, forgive me. Sirocco track club. Coach Alessandro, who is an Italian national coach who moved from Italy to south of Spain to build a Olympic level style track club to support athletes from both the country of Italy, but also internationally. So he works with a few athletes from Italy, but also a lot of athletes from Arabic countries, as well as countries within Asian countries. And now I am working, training, with having the luxury and the pleasure of being able to train with a track club based in Texas, called Olympic Fit, under the tutelage of both United States as well as Nigerian represented athlete, Coach Monzavius Ray Edwards. Athletics was a late relationship for me. So I was thinking about this. I was thinking about my life experience with sports a couple of days ago. So I was never into sports early on as a kid. I was always encouraged to play sports. You should play football. Dad was letting me play football. So you just take on basketball. I always had a natural gift within running, but I was a sensitive kid, so I wouldn't have been able to handle the intense coaching and instruction as a kid, to play the sport. Running is a pastime sport in my family. My brother has run professionally, but even before him, look at my dad's side, uh, particularly on my grandmother's side, I'm related to the late great Jackie Robinson, who was a prominent track and field athlete for baseball as well as football. And I'm also, through marriage, related to the Olympic champion John Woodruff, who was on the 1936 Olympic team with Jesse Owens, who was a multiple 800 meter world record holder at the time. So I always go back to there to say running's been a pastime in the family. My college process was a large character building journey. Say that I was initially recruited by UB. Certain things didn't work out in that process. I ended up going to community college, my first fall semester, Erie Community College, for a semester. Helped me gather myself. I still trained and stayed active. And then from community college, I went to Buffalo State, and I spent, that was another character building experience, which led me to ultimately going back to the University of Buffalo and graduating from there.
Tell me what you do in your off season.
My off season?
Do you have an off season?
Well, the last time I had an off season, I know, right? It's ridiculous. Usually what I do in my off season is It's not. A church is it's a sanctuary for many people. I consider track as like my sanctuary to be able to uh, develop myself, my sanctuary to be able to develop, but also it's also a meditation and prayer practice for me to be able to move around, to be able to use my body to run at these high speeds or slow speeds or controlled speeds, um, and with the overall theme of helping me become better physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So track has always been that theme for me. Accolades aside, races aside, and that's the biggest benefit that I truly enjoy about track and field. It's definitely helped me grow me up on different levels. I think physiologically you can be a certain age, but emotionally and mentally you can be another age, and that's been like my journey with track and field. And so that's been like one of the biggest rewards I've had within the sport. Um, if I had to, I also enjoy the process of disciplining yourself, putting the work in, doing the training, and also the internal training, and seeing the results when you get on the track, and also having fun and really truly enjoying and celebrating yourself because you put yourself through all these challenges in order to hit that best time or for that one moment, which is ultimately to be a champion. However, you may a champion in the agreed upon definition, but the champion that you define yourself, that you are working to achieve to be.
How do you describe champion?
Uh, it's a multifaceted definition, but one of the things is the ability to it's the ability to stay focused on your goal regardless of the positive or negative circumstances that are impacting you, and to stay so intently focused and to give so much of yourself to that goal, and seeing it through to the end is one of the main definitions of being a champion. And I think to a large degree, I have exemplified that through my actions and my behaviors. And now, you know, within that definition for myself, um, my biggest focus is to transfer that into the universal agreed upon champion, which is to be an Olympian.
Have you ever had to face injury in your career?
So it was my sophomore year at Buffalo State. There were high expectations that I had for myself in regards to where I wanted to go, which was to qualify for nationals and become a national champion. And during the course of that season, Boston College, the Valentine's Day meet. I hurt not my ankle, but the top of my foot near my ankle. I had to take a few weeks off, but I managed to bounce back from that. My fitness suffered, but I was able to medal as an indoor conference medalist. I think I was second place in the 60 that year. And during the outdoor season, I injured my quad, which was an issue coming from my hip. I injured that twice. Uh, First time due to overuse, and the second time coming back too early than my body wanted me to. And going through that process, I remember during the I believe 2012 Olympics. I could be wrong, but I do remember when Paul George, a basketball player, when he heard it had a severe knee injury, his mantra during that course of coming back from the knee injury was a growth mindset, a growth mantra, like what I'm going to do when I recover, what do I need to do in order to get myself to recover faster. And that's the same mindset that I took on and adopted from him in order to overcome my injuries. I'm a believer of if you don't have the right mindset, if you don't have the right emotional space for when those challenges do come, the process is going to be longer for you than many times. So the better you can prepare yourself internally when those challenges come, the easier it will it will be as you go along and go through your process. And also have faith, having faith in yourself, having faith and giving yourself grace when your body doesn't want to cooperate, and just giving it the grace to rest. And those were a few of my part of my formula of overcoming the injury. And I am blessed to say that I haven't dealt with any severe injuries since.
If you had an athlete that you came to in crossing, like just briefly, that was injured and were kind of looking like, kind of down on themselves, like, man, like I'm injured. What's a little short piece of advice you would give them?
The first piece of advice that I would give that athlete is it's a piece of advice that I give many athletes, and it's always based on what can you control. Breathe. If you can breathe, and not just shallow breathe like back and forth. I mean, really breathe deep, inhale and exhale to give your brain the space and the capacity to begin to take a step back, assess where you are, assess the conditions, and to start thinking of strategies of how to overcome the injury. And when you feel like you're out of control, go back to breathing so you can get back in control so you can now be able to strategize how to best move forward. A sponsor life means to me it is having a vision that no one can see, having so much faith and conviction in that vision, and investing in it through prayer, through positive intentions and affirmations, and through your work in spite of what the circumstances may be presenting to you in the moment. Before anybody can sponsor you, you must sponsor yourself. Like that's my mantra around sponsor life. And I believe through definitely through the art side and the business side of art, that has manifested for me in a plethora of ways. So when I think of On Sponsor Life, I think about that mantra. The Jalen A Law collection was inspired out of frustration during my sophomore year of college. It was July 2013. So I went to school, I majored in art, a minor in psychology. When I graduated, they gave me a minor art history because I took so many credits at Buff State during the fall, spring, and summer. So they just threw that in as a bonus. So I was frustrated with the institution and the system of getting an art degree. They'll teach you everything about the theory and practice of being an artist, but they don't teach you how to build a business foundation around your talent to create a successful art company around what you do. So I made the determination that I would take my destiny in my own hands and figure out those answers on my own. So July 2013, I spent that whole summer figuring out the structures and mechanics of business. And I experimented with different strategies and theories of what worked in business and what doesn't work. And it's been uh, a very interesting 10-year process of really getting together. First, the name of the company was called Law Art Productions, which was LAP, if you put an acronym. I thought it was corny, and then I decided to change the name up a few years later. And now I really believe that I'm living in my purpose. So, and I think my journey as a business owner is really a representation of living a unsponsored life because I put the investment, the sweat equity, and the financial sacrifices in supporting and funding my dreams before anybody else decided to ever give me a grant or before anybody ever decided to buy a painting of mine. And so I'm always grateful for the journey. I'm always grateful what the journey brings to me because it's always going to put me in a position to further my growth if I am courageous enough to take on the challenges.
Can you please run down some of the great things that you've done for yourself, for the community, for other people, where we can see your art? Let the people know.
Absolutely. So just to see my art and some of the projects that I do, you can go on the Jalen Jalen Law Law collection.com. And the services that I do provide is I create original artwork for the everyday art collector or art enthusiast. I also, but my most important passions is within education. So over 5 years ago, I developed a program under the mentorship of Dr. Peter Salovey, who's the president of Yale University, teaching kids how to develop their emotional intelligence skills using art, music, and writing. And so I've been really focusing my business on that end for the past 5 years, having the pleasure of being able to work with kids from all different parts of the world, in person as well as virtually. And when I am not teaching, I also do murals. So I've had the pleasure of being able to create murals within Buffalo, Niagara Falls. There may be a couple more projects outside of Buffalo, Niagara Falls sooner rather than later, but I'll keep you up to date on that one. And currently, my passions have transitioned more into something called playful learning. So utilizing, creating different projects that provide kids opportunities to, within the name, be able to play, but also learn an important subject matter that's infused within the project. So I just recently completed a project through the support of the Lego toy company, the Lego Foundation, installing a uh, a play project within the local Buffalo Library, giving kids an opportunity to improve their reading and writing comprehension through the activity.
Describe like a day in the life of Jalen Law.
A day in the life is, so I'm usually an early bird, so I'll get up around 4 a.m. Pray, meditate, and then from there I will get my itinerary together. What I have to do in terms of what are the important activities I have to get done, because I'm also a business owner, running an art education company called the Jalen Law Collection. So I have to make sure that what are the priority tasks that I have to get done, that will help grow my business, and getting those things out the way so that I can prioritize and make time to be able to train, um, as well as most importantly, have enough time to recover. So 4 a.m. after prayer, I'm going in my book to write out those tasks, and then um, right about 5 to around 6 a.m., I am tackling each of those tasks one by one, to make sure that I'm getting everything done within my power. Innately, I'm more of a internally motivated person, but like was that sometimes you need external motivation to like push you and expose you your true potential. So that I consider as a moment of an external motivator helping me tap into my true potential. You know, planning to be an Olympian in 2024 for Paris, which is the next year. My goals for 2024 is to qualify for, well, my favorite event is the 200. I really enjoy the 200. First, I like the ability because it gives you like time to, it gives you a little more time than the 100. Like the 100 is you got to go, and you have to go, and there has to be no thinking. There is strategy, but the strategy and the time limit for you to execute that strategy is so short as opposed to doing the 100. I'm sorry, as opposed to doing the 200. So definitely my focus is within the 200, the 100, and of course a spot on the relay team as well.
Thanks, Jalen.
It's a pleasure.